What are your thoughts on like people on private land putting out minerals, Dan, this time of
Uh,
year?
in Wisconsin, it's illegal. On your
Right.
own private land, I ain't got no problem with it. Put it out. On public land, it kind of sucks because it's like you're claiming an area.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really
I
talking
think
about the legality of it. I knew it was. I know it's illegal in
for me, what
Wisconsin.
I think about minerals is I don't think it really helps you much in any way. But what it does help is I think it does give you a spot where you can get a good pitcher inventory kind of thing. The Bucks will come to that on a regular basis kind of thing in the summer, but they don't really hit minerals in the fall.
Hmm.
If you have an early enough season that starts in like real early September, they might still be coming to it. But they really don't hit minerals in the fall. That's a spring thing. It's kind of like their body knows when their antlers are growing or something. I don't know.
Right. I'm sure
But
they probably crave it. Hmm.
yeah. So inventory wise, I don't think it's a bad thing. As long as you're not putting it in where you're going to hunt and you're not damaging your hunting area. I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing people do is they'll make a mock scrape or they'll make a mineral lick or something, and then they'll put a camera over it and they're in there checking it, and they're maintaining things, they're in there trimming lanes and stuff. And now that might still kill deer. You might kill good bucks doing that, and you might do it on a
Hmm.
regular basis. But take a look at the really biggest bucks I shot, like in that video we just put up.
Hmm.
Dan's top 12 bull kills, right? The reason
Yep.
I did that is because those are all mature bucks, and you can really see the difference of what it took to kill those deer versus your average 3-year-old 140-inch or 130-inch buck.
Right.
Those deer were a whole different ball game. I shot most of my average deer, in stands I've sat before. I shot them in rut funnels. Matter of fact, a lot of them came from rut funnels, right? But when you get into the ones that are 6 or 7 years old, none of those came from a rut funnel. I think one did, and it was on private land, and it was a rut funnel between two bedding areas that was in thick cover, and there was 100 yards between the two bedding areas. You know, um, so when you start messing with them and putting, minerals in there and stuff like that, you can kill deer on that. You can cure, those are those guys that get into that just keep shooting those 2 and 3-year-olds for the rest of their life and say, "Oh, I'm a great hunter. Look at all the bucks I shot." But they're never getting that next stage. Every now and then they'll get lucky and get one of those, but they're not doing it on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's my 2 cents on minerals.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know the science behind it. It seems like you'd be so insignificant that, you know, other than the benefits of what you just talked about, I don't know if you're like growing bigger antlers or not. Um, I've had mineral sites out in the past, but I don't usually mess with it anymore. I always struggle to find a good spot where it's not going to like interfere with hunting, like you said. At least on the couple pieces of private I have a hard time finding. There's just not a real big area to where it's good enough to kind of suffice the law here in Indiana. They can't be coming to it. It can't be hunting so close to it, and that's a pretty vague law. It has to, it's not really written like you got to be within 100 yards of it. It's more like they can't be traveling to or from it, or I mean, it's written to where I think if you had one on a property and you were hunting it, they could probably bust you for it if they wanted to. The conservation officer around here told me if I ever put one out, just to buy a piece of uh, sheet of OSB and put over it for deer season or something like that.
Mm.
And he said then you'd be fine. But he said that's what he even does on his pieces of private he hunts. So, um, but not all of them are that friendly.
Right.
You never know. If you want to watch another video, click right here. But don't forget to subscribe before you leave.